Wakefield Cathedral, or the Cathedral Church of All Saints in Wakefield, is a co-equal Anglican cathedral with Bradford and Ripon cathedrals in the Diocese of Leeds and the seat of the Bishop of Leeds. Originally the parish church, it has Anglo-Saxon origins and after the enlargement and rebuilding, has the tallest spire in Yorkshire. The church has been a Grade I listed building since the 14th of July 1953. However, this cathedral has been chosen by a bird that frequents sea cliffs and mountains. Falco peregrinus, the peregrine falcon. Peregrines have been present on Wakefield Cathedral for several years, but they bred for the first time in 2015, using a nest box made at the University of Sheffield. An adult female and a male that was still in juvenile plumage arrived unexpectedly, after the overwintering pair departed at the start of the season. Despite a late start, they raised 3 young successfully. A couple of months after the youngsters fledged, the male molted into his adult plumage. He was ringed on the 16th of May 2014 at St George's Church in Sheffield, and the ring on the right leg shows that he is the same bird. As the female was in adult plumage when she arrived, she is at least a year older than the male. However, there is no information about where she came from, because she is unringed. A new box installed in the autumn of 2015, and later fitted with a camera, has improved access to the box, and has allowed people to observe the behaviour of the birds inside the box. In 2018, a second camera was installed overlooking the east parapet and has allowed people to observe the juvenile peregrines when they leave the nest box. Since 2016, the juvenile peregrines have been fitted with an orange-coloured Darvik ring on their left leg and a metal BTO ring on the right leg. The Darvik rings are readable through binoculars or telescopes, and the community hope that this will enable them to get feedback on the subsequent movement of the juveniles after fledging. Being able to observe the peregrines, study the webcam footage, and collect prey debris from the nesting sites and local vicinity has enabled the community to start recording data on the prey selection and the diet of the peregrines nesting on Wakefield Cathedral. In turn, this will enable the community to build up a picture of their hunting behaviour, including how far they are travelling to catch their prey, and also to capture nighttime hunting that they occasionally do. Some of the prey isn't a surprise, for example feral pigeon. However, on 2 occasions, a bat in the genus Nyctilus, possibly a noctule or a liseless bat, was recorded being bought in the nest box. The peregrines at Wakefield Cathedral have been found to have preyed on about 50 different species. In addition, a dunnock which has been brought to the nest box, and some black-tailed godwit remains. Woodcock, snipe, golden plover, teal, fieldfare, and redwing are normally preyed on in the winter. In spring, they were recorded bringing the occasional house martins to the nest box, and also swifts too. Peregrines often hunt at night, usually before sunrise and just after sunset. In this image, the male is bringing a swallow to the nest. On this occasion, he actually delivered 3 swallows in the hour after midnight. This frequency of nighttime hunting is unusual, but this followed a period during which there had been heavy and prolonged rainfall during the day. As you can see on another image here, what you're about to hear is really unusual. Because during October 2018, the community was very surprised to find the head of a leech's petrel at the base of the cathedral's tower. Wakefield is a long way from either the east coast or the west coast. and birds of this species spend their lives out at sea, coming to land only to breed on remote islands. The same with puffins. This hen was found a few days after the storm. Callum brought high winds and heavy rain to the UK. This little bird must have been blown inland, where it fell prey to a peregrine. The chart below shows the range of species that was delivered between two periods, from the 2nd of May 2020 to the 6th of June 2020. In total, there were 225 deliveries of food. The first period shows that pigeon was the predominant species. However, in the second period, there was an increase in the number of starlings being delivered. It was interesting to see that a swift was brought in on the 6th of June 2020. In fact, they still catch swifts today, when windy conditions would have caused a lot of swifts to feed at low level over local wetlands. Since the installation of the webcam in 2016, the community have been able to monitor the progress of the adult peregrines and their clutch. This has enabled the community to compile data on the egg laying and hatching dates, and the number of days from the laying of the penultimate egg to first hatching. These observations provide invaluable insight to the breeding ecology of the Wakefield peregrines. The information gathered for the 2016 and 2017 breeding seasons shows that eggs were laid within a 1-day window. However, in 2018, the eggs were laid around 10 days later. The exact reason for this is unknown, but a theory is that the female was put off entering the nest box by the sight of the newly installed webcam, which was white. The webcam was covered in dark tape, and the female entered the nest box shortly afterwards. Normal peregrine clutches are 3 or 4 eggs, with 2 or 3 hatching. The table below shows the breeding data for the Wakefield peregrines since 2015. From 2015 to 2021, the adults have successfully fledged 25 young peregrines and a foster juvenile that was relocated from a nest site in Hull. Now, I mentioned ringing earlier, and since 2016, the juvenile peregrines have been fitted with an orange-coloured Darvik ring on their left leg and a metal BTO ring on their right leg. The Darvik ring carries 2 or 3 unique numbers and letters to allow identification later in life. The Darvik rings are readable through binoculars or telescopes, and the community hope that this will enable them to get feedback on the subsequent movement of the juveniles after fledging. When the rings are fitted, the juveniles are also checked to ensure that they're in good condition, weighed and measured. This also helps to determine the sex of the juveniles. Chicks were ringed from 2016 to 2023. However, in 2015 and 2020, there was no ringing, because in 2015 at the time, the Sheffield University box was not accessible, and in 2020, there was no ringing because of coronavirus restrictions. When the juveniles are preparing to fledge, you can also bird watch for these birds as well. And hopefully with a project like this going on at this cathedral, no more peregrines will ever become rare in the future.